Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. Luke 16:10. These words of Jesus resonate deeply, don't they? They speak of a truth that transcends time and circumstance. It's a truth about faithfulness, about proving ourselves in the small things before being entrusted with greater responsibilities. We often find ourselves longing for more money, more influence, more possessions. We think that having more will bring us happiness and fulfillment, but Jesus gently redirects our focus. He reminds us that true wealth lies not in abundance but in faithfulness. It's about using what we have, no matter how small it may seem, for His glory. It's about recognizing that everything we have is a gift from God, and it's about being good stewards of those gifts. The world tells us that bigger is better, that more is always more. We are bombarded with messages that tempt us to desire more than what we have. We start to believe that happiness lies just beyond our grasp, in that next promotion, that larger house, that fancier car. But Jesus offers a different perspective. He challenges us to shift our focus from what we lack to what we already possess. He invites us to find contentment not in acquiring more, but in using what we have for His purposes. Because when we are faithful with little, God can entrust us with more. Not necessarily more possessions, but more responsibility in His kingdom. What does it look like to be faithful with little? It's about the everyday acts of kindness, generosity, and love. It's about using our talents, time, and resources to bless others and advance God's kingdom. It's about being faithful in our work, no matter how insignificant it may seem. It's about being honest in our dealings, even when no one is watching. It's about showing love and compassion to our families, friends, and neighbors. It's about sharing the gospel with those who have yet to hear it. These acts of faithfulness may seem small, but they are incredibly significant in the eyes of God. Section 4. Everyday examples. Imagine a group of friends who feel called to serve their community. They don't wait for a large grant or a team of volunteers. Instead, they start small, using their own resources to open a food pantry in their church basement. They collect canned goods, volunteer their time, and open their doors to those in need. Or picture a young woman who feels convicted about the lack of respect and kindness in her workplace. She doesn't gossip or complain. Instead, she leads by example, treating her coworkers with love and respect, even when it's difficult. She speaks words of encouragement, offers a listening ear, and strives to create a more positive and uplifting environment. Her actions, though seemingly small, begin to transform the culture of her workplace, reflecting the love of Christ to those around her. Section 5. A kingdom built on love. These are just a few examples of how faithfulness in the small things can have a ripple effect, impacting the world for Christ. God's kingdom is not built on grand gestures and impressive feats. It's built on millions of acts of love, kindness, and service performed by ordinary people who are faithful with what they have been given. So let's ask ourselves, how are we using what we have? Are we holding on to our resources, or are we sharing them generously with others? Are we using our time and talents to bless others, or are we wasting them on selfish pursuits? Section 6. Planting seeds of faithfulness. Remember the parable of the mustard seed? Jesus compares the kingdom of God to a tiny mustard seed, which, though small, grows into a large tree, providing shelter and nourishment to all who come near. In the same way, our acts of faithfulness, though seemingly insignificant, have the power to grow and multiply, impacting the world for eternity. Let us be faithful with what we have today, trusting that God will use our small acts of obedience to accomplish His great purposes. Let us not despise the day of small beginnings, but embrace the opportunity to partner with God in building His kingdom. For it is in the seemingly insignificant acts of faithfulness that we truly